because at the end of the day, I still want to be able to, I don't dislike George Washington. I don't dislike even some of the most racist people in history. But I want to know their history, but I also want to know not only that, you know, hey, they were whatever, but I also want to know about the Shirley Chisholms. I also want to know about the Frederick Douglass. And not even Nat Turner. I want to know more about Nat Turner than him just being some revolutionary. I want to know the Nat Turner that was out in the fields. I want to know the Nat Turner that grew up as a kid. I don't want to know just the narrative. You know, tuned in to Urban Conservative. 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 Tuned in to Urban Conservative.
Q9, my futon, fold it up and smoke it. Transgression of progression of a war we ain't asked for. Transgression of progression of a war we ain't asked for.
It's madness, yo. All the things that we could talk about.
Call it.
But let's talk about these urban circumstances real quick.
And basically it's
we got this.
So,
Revolution.
Winter's frosty hand. Muhammad is the fame's name, forever stand.
Standing on royal fusing of justice for the few, ridiculed by the pale terrorists bent on genocidal obsession, rooted in fear of neglection and abandonment, fueled by nightmares of ancestors' jealousy.
Because at the end of the day, I still want to be able to I don't dislike George Washington.
The kind of friends I think our friends should be like my friends. My friends are the kind of friends I think everyone needs. My friends see the things at times I don't see. My friends hate the police.
What has changed?
Are deemed the criminals, and the blacks are deemed the criminals.
Shut up and help.
Reflection ain't nothing but the inner child trying to see you. You gonna look? You gonna pick up that book?
Lord, keep me far from the faith. Guide me through night and day. Teach me your ways. Show me the righteous way to sway. Lord, can you teach me, please? Show me the way, I'd say.
Grand Risings, and welcome back to another episode of the Urban Conservative with Chaz Neal. We're excited to have you join us on this journey of thoughtful discourse and community engagement. The Urban Conservative is proudly sponsored by the Leon Block Network, an organization committed to promoting transparency, truth, and accountability in our media landscape. Here at the Urban Conservative, our mission remains steadfast to bring you the latest news directly from the streets, addressing critical topics such as gun violence, crime, politics, and perhaps most importantly, exploring solutions to the profound challenges our communities face. As we embark on this third season, the focus is clear. It's time to actively contribute to the transformation of our communities for the better. How can we achieve this? The answer lies in a multifaceted approach that starts with reconnecting with our core family values. Strengthening our sense of community is paramount. Fostering bonds that transcend the barriers that often divide us. Moreover, it involves embracing our foundational roots, recognizing the historical and cultural threads that weave through the fabric of our society. In this season, we're calling for more than words. We seek action. It's a plea to move beyond mere rhetoric, engage in tangible, impactful initiatives that contribute to positive change. The time for empty words has passed. Now more than ever, we need to put our convictions into action. Together, united by a common purpose, we can make a substantial and lasting difference in the well-being of our communities. So join us on this journey as we explore not only the challenges, but also the opportunities for growth and progress. Together, let's turn our shared vision for stronger, safer, and more connected communities into a reality. Thank you for being a part of the Urban Conservative with Chaz Neal, a platform dedicated to making a platform dedicated to fostering change and making a positive impact on the world around us. Shut up and hope. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. How's everybody this morning? Let's see, it's snowing in Minnesota. That ain't good. Can't find my glasses. Oh, my glasses. Where's my pair? Thank God for 2 pair of glasses. Blind as a bat. This morning I wanted to talk about different things that are going on in society when it comes to politics. And I think it's things that we need to discuss and to talk about, for the simple reason of that it's an election year. And I want to show people that it's not just one party. It's both parties, because, for the presidential election, we're going to have the opportunity to choose between, to me, 2 senile-ass choices. And I think that's one thing that we need to change when it comes to our politics, too, is we need more options. We need more viable candidates that are younger, that understand what's going on in our communities. And what I mean by that is somebody that's well-rounded. We get one aspect of an individual, and what I mean by that is we don't get somebody that, they gave us Barack, right? And, when I look at Barack, that's not somebody that I voted for him because he was black, or I was told he was black. I didn't do any research on Barack, right? I got out of prison in 2004, and, it was my first opportunity to go vote. And they were like, yeah, go vote Obama. He's got our back, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, damn, okay, it's a nigga in there, what I'm saying? My president is black, shit. But that nigga ain't even black. He's a Kenyan. He's an immigrant. It's the same thing with Kamala Harris. You know what I'm saying? And then when we get viable candidates, like out of Minnesota, John Thompson, who is a black man and maybe doesn't have the sparkiest, cleanest background. But what's crazy is I disagree with Thompson about a lot of things, right, when it comes to our community. But I do understand that he also, I believe, of given the opportunity, would make our communities better. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that he's sick of the trauma, the brutalization that goes on in our communities, right? I know we agree on that part. Everything else, we probably don't. But that comes with everybody that, honestly, that I deal with. There's a lot of people that we don't see eye to eye. And, but I know this, that getting behind Democrats or Republicans isn't going to help us. It's not going to help us at all. We have to stand on our, everybody talks about strapping up their bootstraps and, getting them boots on the ground. But why is it always we're getting boots on the ground to follow behind somebody else that doesn't even have our agenda or doesn't even have our best interests at heart? Because I sit there and I think about that shit, right? And I'm sure a lot of people do. If you're in this movement, but I see a lot of people aren't. They just do this shit to talk, right? And this is mainly for them Twitter niggas. This is mainly for Twitter because I see the same things that I seen in 2020 on Facebook, on Instagram, and out in these streets. And I'm seeing it the same, but kind of different, right? And I'm seeing these little shills. I'm talking about the re-ups, the Sir Majors, the Mark Carters, the Isaiah Washingtons, you know, the Dom Lucraes, and these so-called celebrities, right? And people literally do Twitter spaces, and it's like, for what? You get on there and you can't even. There's this nigga named Taji, and he's all on Edmund Burke's and Thomas Sowell's nuts, right? But for me, I studied Thomas Sowell and Dr. Claude Anderson, and people are like, who the hell are these people? That's where you guys are lost, right? Edmund Burke is the father of conservatism, right? This is somebody that was, conservatism is something that was in the 1700s, right? But what people fail to realize is that there's a different kind of conservatism, right? There was a conservatism that was born in the 60s, late 50s, early 60s, called Black urban conservatism, right? Which was about family values. It was about keeping our family nucleus together. It was about desegregating so that we could worry about us, that we could focus on us. But that movement was overshadowed. It was overshadowed because they felt like integration was the route to grow, was the route to go. And as we can see, that all that did was open Pandora's box. That's all it did, was open Pandora's box. You know, and I seen this morning that well, actually, let's get into this first, because I want to talk about this unraveling corruption. And what I mean by that is, I'm about to play you a story out of Dolton, Illinois. And it's about a mayor. I know some people have maybe heard about it, maybe some people haven't. This is a prime example of democracy, of the way that it shouldn't work, right? This is what we want to call a totalitarian regime. Somebody that is, you know, we all talk about Hitler and how, you know, blah, 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 this, blah, blah, blah. They always want to talk about certain people, right? Well, let's talk about Tiffany. Let's talk about Mayor Tiffany Henyard out of Dolton, Illinois, right? And this shit right here really fucked me up. And I'm going to tell you why it fucked me up, right? Because there are so many routes that these people, and I'm talking about the people, the constituents of Dolton, Illinois could take. They could do a recall. There's so many fucking things that they could do instead of the things that they have done, because it's only going to get worse. And as I was going into Tiffany's history, it kind of really shook me a little bit, because there was an Illinois attorney that commented and basically stated that under Illinois laws, what Tiffany is doing is, it's not illegal, it's unethical. There's other facets of issues, and those are things that we as the people have to understand and really call out. And that's what I want. We should be educating ourselves to do better, and not continually doing the same shit we've done through history, and that's repeated, because that's all we're doing is repeating history. But I wanted to play this video, and please listen, man. This is I thought Minneapolis was bad. Holy shit. So just let me be quiet. And again, this is a suburb, I'm guessing, of, I don't exactly know where Dolton, Illinois is. I'm told that it's about an hour, not even an hour from Chicago. But listen to this, because this is what is wrong with politics today, and how, you know, when you have people like Mayor Frey or the Democratic trifecta in Minnesota, and again, these are all Democrats.
Inside a packed Village Hall in South suburban Dolton, residents confronting embattled Mayor Tiffany Henyard. They say they want answers about Henyard, an unnamed village trustee, and a controversial trip to Las Vegas last May. NBC5's Regina Waldrop in Dolton tonight with the story.
It was a packed village board meeting, but there were still people outside who could not get in. They were banging on doors, windows, chanting, and with that in mind, 4 trustees abruptly walked out, and this meeting was adjourned.
I'm still speaking. You're out of order, clerk. You out of order.
In Dolton Monday night, a chaotic village board meeting.
Power to the people.
It got underway an hour late because of a credible threat, according to police. Only a limited number of residents were let into the building, and they had to pass through a metal detector. Those who were not let in protested outside. A short time later, the meeting abruptly ended when 4 trustees walked out.
The Open Meetings Act requires that that we have enough space for everybody to get in. Because of that, I feel we have a lot of outrage going on out there, and we want to be able to provide the space to people that they are looking for.
This is the residents' home, and anytime you can't come in, it's a problem.
During public comment, a number of residents outraged because of the alleged misuse of village funds, lawsuits, and other issues called on the mayor to step down.
We don't want you here. You or your administration. Y'all need to go.
Mayor, you might as well step down too, because I'm tired of that too. This is a disgrace that you have done to this village.
Mayor Tiffany Henyard and a village trustee who's not named are at the center of an investigation by the Illinois Department of Human Rights. The probe is focused on what allegedly happened on an economic development trip to Las Vegas last May. Henyard's former assistant who filed this complaint claims she was sexually assaulted by an unnamed Dolton trustee on that trip. She claims she was then later fired from her job. In a statement, the village told NBC5 it conducted a thorough investigation into the allegations led by an independent third-party company. The statement goes on to say this is nothing more than a disgruntled village employee trying to make off with the taxpayers' hard-earned dollars. The village board meeting continued on for a little while with only the mayor and 1 trustee in attendance. April 8th, that's when they hope this meeting will resume. Reporting from Dolton, I'm Regina Waldrop, NBC5 News.
Regina, thank you.
I am a wife. I'm a mother of 3 children. My children and my family are suffering because of this loss. And Dolton police, the detectives, have been sitting around twiddling their fingers on this case. This is hurtful. When I've been in contact, I've been asking questions. I've been in contact with the state's attorney's office. I'm pushing this case. I've had the Crime Stoppers come out to do additional work, canvassing the neighborhood, to assist the police, and nothing has been done. My husband, Tavares Edward Davis, deserves justice. Thank you. All right. Is that one more? That's it. Right. Thank you for your public comment. Next on the agenda is general announcements. Do anybody have any general announcements?
Yes, Mayor.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. I hear a lot of the outrage, and I think a lot of it is just around having a space that can accommodate. And I'm concerned also that there may be some violations of the Open Meetings Act because we need to have a space when we know that there's this many people. As such, I'm going to make a motion that we postpone this meeting and continue the agenda to Monday, April 8th, a week from today at 6:30, Dolton Park District 14700 Evers. So that is my motion.
Trustee, second. We are not postponing a meeting. We are
Did you get my second, clerk?
And basically, we have 2 items on the agenda. So we can basically continue with our meeting and get through the 2 items that's on the meeting. So my advice to the board is we are already here. Let's handle the business and not let the business handle you guys. We're not having no meeting at no Dolton Park District. So I'm just making that crystal clear. Clerk, what are you doing? You out of order. You out of order. Did I call the roll? Did I say call the roll? I'm still speaking. You're out of order, Clerk Key. You out of order, Clerk Key. Like, stop. Y'all out of order. Everybody want to run stuff. Y'all don't run this house over here. Stop, please. So, as I was stating, we need to continue with the business. We are here. People came to a meeting to hear we have been doing in our village. The department head, the lawyer, everyone's here. So I'm asking for you guys to sit here and to deal with what's going on.
Trustee Tammy
and that's the problem that we have. Wonder why we have dysfunction. This is the reason. So if y'all walk out, y'all walk out. We got business to handle.
At 7:58.
Okay. All right. So go ahead. Handle your business, and we gonna handle ours.
No, to let y'all out. Let you out.
Power to the people. Power to the president. They don't want nothing. Say you gonna do something, but you don't do. If I can, I can.
The meeting was adjourned because we have to have enough space. So we have to. The Open Meetings Act requires that that we have enough space for everybody to get in. Because of that, I feel we have a lot of outrage going on out there, and we want to be able to provide the space to people that they are looking for.
So when is the next meeting?
Monday, May 8th.
Monday, May 8th?
Monday, April 8th, 6:30 p.m., Dolton Park District. Yes. Well, we're trying to listen to the outcries of residents, and I think it's very disappointing. Yes.
Everyone's frustrated at the moment. You're violating the ordinances, you're violating the residents' rights. They deserve, this is their house. This is the residents' home. And anytime you can't come in, it's a problem. Bring it forward. We are ITTNY, Norwood, and RWOO.
We got the power. So, as y'all can see, we have political issues everywhere. And it's like, what do we focus on? Because you see that, you know, a lot of people are focused on immigration. You know, I've even seen the turn red motherfuckers done did DEI as deport every immigrant. And it's like, okay, I get it. You know what I'm saying? But when are we going to really look in the mirror and clean up our own backyards? Because that ain't listen, I've been to the state capitol, right? I've been to numerous city council meetings. I've been to school board meetings. I've been to county commissioners, listening sessions. To me, it's all a shit show, because at the end of the day, and I'll tell you this, right? One thing that I'm learning, and I love this because I love that when there's politicians that aren't career politicians, right? They get into it because when they know better, they want to do better. And I've met some Republicans like that. I've met some Democrats like that. But we don't have enough people like that, because a lot of the issues that we really need to deal with are systemic, right? It's systemic. And it's crazy. Wait, let me see if I did save this video, because I really want people to, it's from North Dakota or South Dakota. I mean, my bad. Let me see if I did save it. Oh, no, but I didn't. Damn it. Let me see if I can find it, though. Because this shit it was powerful, because at the end of the day, it's not just happening in, you know, oh, here it is. Okay, so I'm going to bookmark it. It's actually, dude, Ryan Fournier, whatever the fuck his name is. Let me see, get the bookmarks. All right. Yeah, man, because I'm going to tell you right now, corruption is a motherfucker. And then I'm going to show you something too what Trump has. Because today's topic is corruption in this bitch. Because there's a lot. This video is only 30 seconds.
New housing trucks they purchased. There was no money for that. But yet you look at our houses that our people live in, it's horrible. We're slumlords. We can't even maintain those houses. Look how much are boarded up. We can't even onboard those because we don't have no money. So the fact of the matter is that we had poor leadership. We had poor leadership at housing that put us in this situation. And now it's on us. Fingers pointed at us.
So it's been announced in South Dakota that the governor, Christy, I can't say her last name, has called for an audit of federal dollars to Native tribes in South Dakota. Tribal council members announced that their own housing authority used more than 90% of the funds to buy new cars and pay salaries. Tribal members weren't happy. And that's the video. And it's crazy because I looked this up. I did Google the story. And it shocked me to see that who can we trust? Because we've seen it with BLM. We've seen it with, feeding our futures that was supposed to feed the kids. We're seeing it with these violence interruption groups. We're seeing it when it comes to housing. All we got to do is sit here and look. It comes to public education. There's so much. And then people wonder why we don't get anywhere. And what's crazy is I really want to thank Robert, right? And I understand what, some people don't understand everything that we may do as, activists or community members to make it better for our communities, right? Everybody doesn't agree with it. And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? That's fine and dandy. All I'm asking for people to do is to go research, because if I'm getting something wrong, correct me. But I can tell you right now that I'm not. So everybody knows who fucking Candace Owens is, right? Everybody knows who Candace is. And I want to say this, right? Because people don't want the truth. They don't want the truth because for the simple fact that they get paid off of lies. They get paid off of telling lies, right? So why would, and I don't have no beefs with Candace or none of that, right? I have no beefs with the broad. None soever, right? But my thing of it is, why do we continually not want to cover the truth? Why don't we, these people call themselves media, right? Or they call themselves journalists. But how come every time that it comes, and this is what we're talking about, right? Because Liz Collins, who made a documentary about the fall of Minneapolis, right? But that was primarily about Derek Chauvin and how he was wrongfully convicted, right? Or how, the Minneapolis Police Department threw an officer under the bus. But it goes so much deeper than that. And that's what really pissed me off is these people don't want the truth. They just want to run with their narrative. The narrative, because I'll tell you right now that we have so many crooks as politicians, right? Because they'll get up there and they'll tell us about, oh, we got to get these drugs off the streets. We got to do this. We got to do that. How many of them have their hands in the pot? How many of them have their hands in the honey pot in some form or fashion? Because these people come on here and they'll do little videos of Zoom meetings with property owners and get on there and say stupid ass shit. But yet we're supposed to believe that they're for the people. Or we continually see these organizations ask for money and more money and more money and more money. You know, it's the same thing with the school districts. They ask for more money, but yet we get a weaker product. We get a weaker education system. Do people not understand what is going on? We have to have some type of checks and balances, because right now our system is all fucked up because people aren't paying attention. We're not paying attention to what's going on around us because we would rather get caught up in the drama of people's, you know, their baby mama drama or their baby daddy drama, right? Or we'd rather hear about the pillow talk drama or the so-called doxing drama. That's why I know for a damn fact that most of the 90% of the people that are on these apps talking, y'all are just talking to be talking. You don't know how to write legislation, because I don't hear none of y'all anything about writing amendments or writing bills. I don't hear none of that. And don't say, oh, I'll do that in private. No, you don't. Because even if you were doing it in private, there would be some kind of record of you doing something. That's what I'm saying. We get geeked off of niggas that have degrees. For what? Because a nigga's educated. It doesn't mean that he's smart. It doesn't mean that he's smart. Because I'll tell you right now, it's been 16 hours and I'm waiting for some college-educated nigga to respond to me who wanted to debate about Thomas Sowell was the way to go for financial freedom. No. Thomas Sowell was an individualism. He was about being selfish, right? So don't sit there and say it's about a community when you're sitting there talking about you're preaching and you're teaching people to be selfish and look behind and don't worry about other people. See, that's not about community, my nigga. It's not about community. And that's why I sit there and say motherfuckers will sit there and get on here and think they saying the smartest shit, but don't even look at the bigger picture. Because I'm not disagreeing with you about Thomas Sowell, but I understand the fact that Thomas Sowell was a selfish. He was about individuals, wasn't about a community. He was about individualism. So don't get there and sit there and tell me that his way is better than Dr. Claude Anderson's, when Dr. Claude Anderson was about, because he's still alive, is about unity in the community, because it takes a community to prosper for that individual, right? Because if just the individual prospers, you leave the community behind still. And that's what people fail to realize. We have to have the community built up before anything. And that's why we got this black excellence. But then that black excellence don't live in no black ass community. Do they? They don't live in a black community. They live in a white community, a gated community, right? All under the gist of saying that they're fighting for poor people. You're not even poor anymore. You don't live paycheck to paycheck. You don't. So don't sit there and say that you know our struggle. Because I'll tell you right now, when I sit there and I go to these meetings, I'm not dressed in Louis Vuitton. I'm not dressed in Gucci. I don't got no fucking suit on. And I smell like weed. I got pants. Maybe I got a button-down shirt, because I do have a few. But 9 times out of 10, I have some type of, RIP shirt, or I have something that's representing change, like fuck the police, or CPAC, justice for Dante, or justice for George, Fred Cox. Hardell, Sherelle. I got all different types of shit of shirts. Colin Kaepernick. You know what I'm saying? So it's for me, I want people to know what I represent, man, and I represent my community, because I'll tell you right now, not everybody where I'm from can afford a suit or afford dress shoes. So take me as I am, or leave me the fuck alone, because I am who I am, and I'm gonna be who I am gonna be. But at the end of the day, this is about being, when you know better, you do better. It shouldn't matter if a person is sagging their pants, or if they have holy jeans on that you shouldn't listen to them. No, why don't you sit down and listen, because they got a story too. And just because they don't have no degrees doesn't make them not an articulate or smart individual. But it's because of the stereotypes that we're fed and indoctrinated with and programmed to think that people can't be successful like that. Right? Because you know what's crazy is we're in such a crisis right now of wage labor, and people wonder why. Because we know what we're worth. Y'all make $1 while we make a dime. We get injured while y'all are sitting in offices and we're sweating and bleeding. And then when we want to make it on our own or do things on our own, we got so many hurdles to jump. But then yet there's people that get selected and they get that hurdles knocked down for them, but yet leave the community, everybody else behind who they say they fighting for. And that's what I'm talking about, because we leave more people behind than we bring with us, right? Because this is the crazy part, man. And this is the type of shit that really blows me the fuck away. And this is why I really stopped fucking with people, right? And why I look at niggas sideways. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to sit here and go and talk behind my back in meetings, and then yet your wife or maybe your co-workers or people that sit on your board have done worse things that I could ever imagine, and yet you stay silent on it. But yet people always want to sit there and talk about people's past, right? And we're talking about 20 plus years, but we don't ever see the person that they are today. That's why opinions don't matter to me. First of all, this is social media, because the real people in real life, that's why I tell people all the time, man, all the time. I have this conversation with people, take what you need and leave the rest behind. If it doesn't fit, don't take it, because everybody's got an opinion. Everybody's got a perspective, but it's not everybody's way is going to work for you, right? Some of that advice might, some of it might not. You got to take and leave what you don't need. That's why I don't mind being critiqued, right? I don't mind being criticized, because I know that everybody's got a different opinion, right? That everybody's got a different life perspective. But I would rather to be critiqued and be told what to do the right way, instead of just being somebody looking the other way and continually allowing me to do wrong. And that's where we're at in society, because we as people are okay as long as it's not done to us. Am I right or am I wrong? Because that's the way that I see it. So I replied to this. They don't want to cover the truth because they got rich off lies. And that's the way that it goes. It's everybody always remembers the lie, right? Nobody ever remembers the truth. We always remember a lie. We always will remember a lie. We won't never remember the truth, but we will always always, always remember that lie. I was just reading a story this morning about an individual that is in Minnesota who is innocent and has repeatedly said he was innocent and still got found guilty and is fighting for his freedom. But it shows me, and the reason why he's getting denied in court is because of statute of limitations. And there's rules, and it's like, God damn, like the shit that you gotta go through when you're innocent and you can prove that you're innocent. And the shit that you gotta go through, man, it blows my mind of what our justice system is. And then we see people like Donald Trump, who says that, he feels like how black people feel. No, you don't, man. And I can't. What's crazy to me is you got niggas that'll stand behind that shit. You got niggas that'll stand, like, it's cool to be a criminal. Like, it's cool to be wrongfully convicted or targeted. And I'm just saying, I don't know if that nigga guilty or not. I'm just saying allegedly, right? But I will say this, is that he did play a part in what happened in January 6th. Conspiracy. I will say that I'm not talking about no conspiracy theory. I'm talking about conspiracy to commit, because that's what he wanted to happen that day, right? And words do matter in some cases. But people, that's what's crazy, is they'll hold us to our rap lyrics, but they won't hold them to their speeches. Right? Tell me that's not crazy. That we can literally have certain things used against us, right? That's why I had to plead guilty, all because of something that I said on a Facebook Live. And that's what's crazy to me. All because of what I said on a Facebook Live, taken out of context. But hey, it is what it is. And I definitely learned from this lesson, right? I definitely learned. And it makes me now know I got to fight differently. If I want to get justice and accountability the right way, we got to fight differently. It's got to come from legislation. It's got to come from our elected officials of standing up and doing the right thing, of actually standing with your constituents, standing with the people that you say you're with or you're for. Because I don't see that. I don't see that. I don't see that at all. And I don't see people calling out the bad actors. I don't. It's just in Rochester all goddamn weekend, right? Rochester Red Wing and the homeless people. But yet you have organizations that are collecting donations and bringing them to other cities. What about your own backyard? Oh, whoops, you can't, because you get paid. Your money comes from the city. So they don't want you doing shit for the homeless, because first of all, they criminalized homelessness in Rochester. So they don't want these organizations out helping like that. So they sit there and they take these donations and they bring them up to the cities, who gets more than enough donations from all over America, right? Because they got Facebook, they got Instagram, they have a TikTok, they have, big accounts that share their shit. But yet we always forget about the other people, because we always want to go to where the followers are at, to where the media is going to be at. Because I'll tell you right now, every week, damn near almost every day, I can see something about Camp Nyoski on the Twin Cities media, right? But then it's never about how I've seen them give over too much goddamn money, and for these people to still be homeless. But I understand why. Right? And once we can all understand why of that, they want these issues. They want these, even though they say they want to get rid of them, they don't. They don't. And that's what's sad to me, is that we will always believe the lie before we believe the truth. Because there's enough track record on enough of these people that they shouldn't even be in office. Bobby Champion, Mayor Frey, Walls, Cedric Frazier. And yet we continually vote these people in, even though we know they slapping us in the face, right? We go to these black churches, even though we know that they're no good for our community, a lot of them. And yet we don't say shit. The community leaders, the Lisa Clemens, the L. Flowers, the Sir Majors, right? All these crooks. All these crooks. Shit blows my mind, man. And then people wonder why we don't get anywhere. How? When we got crooks and crackheads, meth heads running everything. You got dope heads, you got sex addicts, sex fiends. You got men wanting to be women, wanting to talk about men can have babies. No, the fuck they can't, Goofy. Sit your goofy ass down somewhere. We as a society are so fucked up when we literally see every day in the news about how our education system is shitty, right? Kids that are graduating only at an 8th or 6th or 5th grade reading level or math level. And we're okay with that. And especially in our community. Because who community suffers the most, right? You know, when it came to crack, they wanted to criminalize it, right? They wanted to throw everybody in prison. Now, with fentanyl, they want to help everybody, right? They want Narcan. Blah, blah, blah. Crack fucked up our whole 80s. And who brought that in? Who brought the cocaine in? The same people that bring the fentanyl in. The same people that get your kids addicted to opioids or ADHD meds or anxiety meds, right? And then when they can't, because they're abusing the meds that they already getting at home, the Ritalin and shit, the Xannies, the Valium, they go on the streets and go get it. Then they end up dead. How many stories, white stories, have we heard like that in America? Because I know I hear them all the time. I hear them all the time. And I didn't honestly really realize of how bad it was until I went out to DC 2 years ago. That shit blew my mind of hearing these family stories. But then even realizing even more of that, there was different types of fentanyl. There was illicit, and then there's pharmaceutical. And I was like, wait, what? What do you mean? Because one type of fentanyl, you can't smoke at all. But the other type, you can. And people, people will argue with me all day on Facebook and Twitter about this shit, that you can't smoke fentanyl. And it's like, dude, how do you work in the drug industry, right? As a drug counselor or whatever the fuck you do, and to get up there and tell these people that it doesn't burn, that fentanyl doesn't burn. Like, you niggas are weird. What do you think they're out here doing? Popping the pills? Motherfuckers ain't popping that shit. They smoking and are snorting it. So if you smelling burnt shit in your house, just knowing your child is using. Especially if there ain't no motherfucking popcorn burning in that bitch. It ain't getting shit in the microwave. Knowing that your child is using. Or if you're seeing crushed up shit, talk to your child. Because you could save your child's life. Don't be scared to have these conversations, because I'm telling you right now, it'll save your child's life. Because I'll tell you right now that Narcan possibly may not do it, because they're putting shit in there that counteracts the Narcan. We have a whole generation that is being killed. A whole generation. We thought we had to deal with so much with crack. No, we got to deal so much with this fatty. Because and what's crazy is you can see this shit. That's what's crazy. All you got to do is go on to YouTube, and you'll see it. You'll see in Philly. You know what? Hold on, because I don't think y'all believe me, man. And that's the crazy part. I'm gonna show y'all some shit. You're gonna be like, wait a minute. Yeah, I know. I say the same shit all the time. All the time I say it. I'm like, ain't no fucking way these people are living like this, or that these streets are really like that. But they are. And it's fucking crazy. This shit just fucking blew my mind. Okay, hold on. I gotta find it. I know you guys can hear me. So let me see. I do live. Okay, here it is. Oh, yeah. Trip y'all out, man. I can tell. No. Okay, skip. Y'all gonna be like, yo, what the fuck is this? Okay, share this tab. So there ain't no sound in it, but this is Philadelphia, Kensington, which is, if I'm correct, is similar to downtown Philadelphia, because that's where you're going to the train. But just to, you can hear.
Anybody got stuff?
Look at that shit. That's just crazy to me.
Lucy. She keep calling me Lucy. My name ain't fucking Lucy.
Lucy.
No, what the fuck? Oh,
This shit's wild. Let's see what this one is. We'll go another one. He live in Philly. But just see how I want people to understand and see what is really going on. Because I know a lot of you motherfuckers don't go outside of your houses. But I want people to see what is going on in communities. Because people ain't paying attention. This is Philadelphia, the streets of Philadelphia. Walk towards the building. Yeah, look at this shit. It is sad to see what society. Look at this.
Today you must make a decision. Tomorrow is not promised. And soon Jesus is coming. He's coming like a thief.
Jesus need to hurry up and come. Fuck
Where will
me.
you find yourself?
Damn, that's crazy.
Where will you find yourself?
Wow.
Where?
Y'all can't tell me.
Where will he find you when he returns?
Well, y'all are not paying attention in your communities, right? Because I'll tell you right now that I know people like Reverend Tim Christopher that, went out into the streets for Easter. That was the camera we were just watching. But they got a whole bunch, man, and this shit be like, wow. Let's see what else they got. Let's see, because they got different channels. So let's see, camera 5. Let's see what camera 5 looking like. Oh, skip. It was rainy out there, I guess, today. Cam 2. No, that's still the same one. But you see the time. They're an hour ahead. That's live footage that you're seeing. But it's just crazy to sit there and to think that people are way off and better or worse positions than we are. And that people aren't being heard or being seen. And to just think that if you have a homeless problem in your area, think about a city that is way larger or way bigger. And you see, that's crazy, man. Let's see. Trying to see if there's anything breaking on Twitter. How many people could live like this out here? Let's be honest. Could y'all sit out here and do these things? Not a lot of people watching. Damn, that's a lot of garbage, though. Jeez. We'll watch this for a minute. Fine, we'll leave off with this. But yeah, look at that. That's just insane. Insane. Man, that's 6 hours. What happened 6? See, and this is something that you can watch 4 hours ago that they literally had. So this was at 5 this morning out there. But that's crazy. Wow, y'all were sleeping in bed. They go 1 o'clock in the morning. These are our streets when y'all are at home sleeping in bed. These are what the streets are looking like at 1 o'clock in the morning. Look how sad that is, man. That shit's sad. Sad. But hopefully we'll be able to do better one day. One day, hopefully we'll be able to do better. Well, back tomorrow, same time, same place. Win or fail, freedom or jail, heaven or hell, wish me well. Y'all have a great day. Urban Conservative. Urban Conservative.